Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Weather Central forecast. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Now, in today's video, we will be going over the 2021 official spring forecast, the Weather Central forecast version of this. Now, this will be my upload for Friday. I will not be making an upload Saturday or Sunday because I will be out of town. I'll try to get back into the swing of things Monday, but no promises. Most likely, I will start my upload schedule again on either Tuesday or Wednesday. So I do apologize for the inconvenience that it causes. If I had it my way, I'd be uploading, every day. But like I said in last video, my schedule doesn't allow that. So it's just unfortunate timing, I guess. So first we're looking at the National Weather Service maps for the first two maps. And then the last map is my map of my official forecast. I did want to point that out that that's National Weather Service because I don't want people to think that I made these first two maps. I did, create the graphics for it, but I took this forecast from a completely different source. It is not my own forecasting, so I just did want to let you guys know that beforehand that these first two maps will not be, my forecast. This is the National Weather Service's forecast. So up here in the Pacific Northwest, they have colder than average conditions throughout, northern Oregon into all of Washington, into parts of northern Idaho, into parts of northwestern Montana. You're seeing some colder than average conditions. It might not be noticeable, but it definitely will be there. Same good here goes for the tan, except it might not be very noticeable, but you are going to be seeing just a tad bit warmer than normal conditions. In this white, you're going to be seeing equal chances. It's not a guaranteed winner either way. You could see some days colder than average. You could see some days warmer than average. And obviously throughout all of these regions, you could see that happening. But just, the greater chances of that happening is in this white region here. In this yellowish region, you have, more warmer than average conditions in the tan region. You might be able to notice it. You might not be able to. In this orange, you have, even warmer than average conditions. You will be able to tell the difference here if I had to guess. We're talking maybe 5 to maybe even 10 degrees above average usually. Which obviously you guys will have days, colder than average. But just the overall trend, you guys will have a lot of days over average for sure. At least that's what the National Weather Service is predicting. In the red, we have, much warmer than average conditions. You will definitely be able to tell a difference. If you don't, you just must not know your climate very well for your area, because it'll definitely be warmer than average here. We're talking maybe 10 to 15 degrees above average on normal days, which obviously, like I said, in all these other regions, you can see those, colder than average days, but you're mostly going to be seeing those, 10 to 15 degree above average days. In this red, you're talking 15 to 20 degrees above average. This is just going to be super warm, very dry if I had to guess. If a storm did decide to occur here, we're talking possibly easily tornadoes, because it's just so warm, especially if what the National Weather Service is saying here, having 5 different layers of warmth, and, the magenta is like 100% chance of it being way above normal. Especially for them. So that's saying a lot that the National Weather Service is saying that. So here's the National Weather Service's precipitation forecast. In these darker greens up in the Pacific Northwest, you have moderately above average. That also extends down to parts of the Midwest, into parts of the Ohio Valley, into parts of central Indiana, northwestern Ohio, all of Michigan, central and eastern Wisconsin, and central and eastern Illinois with that as well. In this lighter green, we have slightly above average. You might not be able to tell too much of a difference, but, obviously you guys will have some more precipitation than normal throughout those areas. In the white areas, we're seeing equal chances. Like I said, in the other ones, equal chances. There's no guaranteed winner. It could, flip-flop between having more than average and, sometimes you're not seeing that precipitation. So it's not going to be a clear winner whether it's going to be slightly above average or slightly below average. In this tan, we have, slightly below average. In this orange, we have slightly to moderately below average. And in this brown, we'll have much below average. And, that's where some parts of it was in this, really warmer than average conditions. So that does make sense why they do have that here. I'm just surprised that they didn't bring their much below average precipitation all the way down here. Since they're having such warm temperatures, I would expect not much rain to be falling there. So here is my Weather Central official spring forecast here. Obviously, a little disclaimer, I am in no ways a meteorologist. I'm not even close to being professionally trained for that. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt. There's all of this I make is for entertainment purposes. Obviously, I try to provide the most accurate information. But like I just said, I'm in no ways a meteorologist. So take everything I say here with a grain of salt. So in the Pacific Northwest, extending into Montana and into parts of northwestern North Dakota, I have rainy. Now you could see obviously those cooler than average conditions at times, but I do think that you guys will stay mostly rainy. You guys will have a very active pattern throughout this area right here, and I expect you guys to notice a difference there. Now in this blue region we have colder and rainy. Colder not as in colder than normal, or colder compared to these areas. Colder than average conditions is expected throughout here. And also, I do think that you guys could see a rainy trend. That it does include some places into California as well, a little more south than normal. So that's pretty interesting. That also extends, into parts of southeastern Montana, into eastern Colorado or eastern Wyoming, into northwestern Nebraska, into western North or South Dakota, seeing those colder and rainy conditions. Now, in this gray here, I have mountain snow. That this could extend, up into Montana, into Idaho, all the way down throughout this area, but I just didn't have enough room to put that, if I'm going to be honest. So, mountain snow throughout the mountains around here, and to the west, obviously, they usually see mountain snow in spring. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking for that area. In this brown here, I have drier and warmer. Now, obviously, I do agree as well that it will be warmer than average here. And with that will come those drier phases as well. That's not the only reason why it will be dry, but, obviously they don't really see too active of patterns in the spring and summer anyways, much less when they're seeing, way above average conditions. It kind of just bites out that chance for that happening. In this pink here, I have rain and snow. I do think towards the beginning, you guys will be mostly snow. And then as we transition into parts of middle and later spring, you guys will see that transition over to rain. There could be a couple snowstorms throughout here in the early stages of spring. That's not out of the question here. Obviously, if there is, I'll be making forecasts on it. So just, obviously subscribe. And you guys will be, if you guys turn on the bell notifications, you guys will be notified whenever I do make a forecast. If that even does happen. I'm not guaranteeing that that's going to happen, but there's chances there, especially since you guys will be having an active pattern throughout most of spring. Now, in this red region here, I have severe weather. Now, obviously, a lot of people aren't agreeing where the severe weather is going to occur, so if you guys don't agree with me, you keep it to yourself. I'm just trying to, let you guys know what I'm personally thinking. So if you guys don't agree, you don't have to let me know. I mean, just obviously you can make your own forecast and stuff and show it that way. And I'm not ruling out that severe weather couldn't happen anywhere around these regions. I just think that's going to be the most predominant area of severe weather, for sure. In this, maroonish area, I have hot and some severe weather. It's going to be, a lot warmer than average conditions, in my opinion. Now, the National Weather Service didn't really, hint towards that as much as they did for the Four Corner states. But I do think that with this trend, you guys will be seeing some warmer weather from the Gulf. And obviously, you guys could see some systems pop up from the Gulf as well. That could cause some severe weather. Because once we get into middle and later spring, mostly any precipitation that pops up is going to be in the form of severe weather. In my opinion, for these areas. Some of these areas have already seen tornadoes, especially northeast Oklahoma into southwest Missouri. They've already seen tornadoes this year. Same with Florida, same with some parts of Georgia. So I think that trend will continue, but I think that you guys will be more predominant severe weather as well as we get into, the early phases and middle phases and even later phases of spring into summer. I just didn't think that it was going to be as predominant as the red region because obviously they have those tracking west to east coast storms that not always do the south get on. So that's just why I think that the chances will be there. And in the long range models, They had a lot more shear and cape, even though it was so far out to really, accurately say that. At the time, it was in favor for this area more than the area south. So that is why I decided to do that. In this other green, I have mostly rain and possible severe weather. Now, I'm not ruling out severe weather, but I think that you guys, especially into the early and middle phases of spring, will stay rain. Towards the end of spring, going into summer, you guys could see some severe weather, and it could even happen just a little bit earlier. So that's why I added possible severe weather, because we're just not 100% sure yet. In this yellow, I put flip-flop. Now, this is where you guys can see, warm conditions, cooler conditions, more precipitation, less precipitation, more severe weather, more not severe weather, So it really just, it'll really change a lot. And obviously, just an example of flip-flop, the South Central was a flip-flop region for this winter. Obviously, they saw, tornadoes, and they also saw snow, up to a foot of snow in some areas, especially like northeast Oklahoma. They saw around a foot of snow this year. They also saw 2 tornadoes in the early parts of winter. So that's why, that's what I mean when I say flip-flop. And for our last region, we have the northeast, extending down into parts of the southwest as well. We have the northeast extending into parts of the southeast. I have average conditions. I don't think that there's a predominant winter, whether it's going to be, above average conditions or below average conditions in temperature. And same thing goes for precipitation. I don't think that there's going to be a guaranteed winter out of that. So I decided to put you guys down in average. So obviously, whatever you guys' average is, you guys can expect this spring in terms of severe weather and in terms of temperature. Expect your guys' average. So that is about it for this weather forecast, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, as this will help my video get out to as many of you guys as possible to help you guys stay weather informed and weather aware for any upcoming storms that may affect the United States. I hope you guys enjoyed this forecast, and I'll see you guys in the next one.